All right, we got some survivors on the Maine mass shooting.
The intense scene outside a residence tied to the suspect in the deadly shooting rampage in Maine tonight. After more than 24 hours of an urgent manhunt to track down Robert Card, the man wanted in the mass shooting that left 18 dead, authorities zeroing in on this house. SWAT teams descending, helicopters overhead.
It is standard procedure to try to get the person to engage with you. And then with a dialogue, you've at least increased your chances that you can end this peacefully.
However, Card was not found. It's the latest in the all-out effort to find the person authorities say committed the senseless violence that rocked Maine and the nation.
To respond to the town of Wilson for 2 active shooter locations, all available units.
On Wednesday night, a gunman opened fire with an assault-style rifle, first at a bowling alley and then a bar. 2 places authorities say he may have had personal connection to.
This city did not deserve this terrible assault on its citizens, on its peace of mind, on its sense of security. No city does, no state, no people.
The suspect, a 40-year-old divorced father who was an Army reservist with a history of mental health struggles, raising questions about missed signals.
If sometimes people say they never see this coming, with Robert Card, people clearly saw troubling signs. His family painted a picture of a troubled individual with a history of mental illness.
After the shooting, authorities say the suspect fled, triggering a frantic search.
Mr. Card is considered armed and dangerous, and police advise that Maine people should not approach him under any circumstances.
Parts of Maine like a ghost town, residents ordered to shelter in place, schools and many stores closed. The grief for those who lost loved ones, palpable.
Your whole body, everything goes out of you. Your heart goes flip-flop, and your gut, it feels like there's a vice in you. Your head can't take it, and you just feel like you're going to blow up.
My colleague David Muir talking to Leroy Walker, his son Joseph, killed in the shooting. Leroy, a local councilman, says state police told the family his son was a hero who tried to stop the gunman.
It's just hard. I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring.
I'm sorry.
The massacre began just before 7 p.m. on Tuesday night at a local bowling alley called Just in Time, formerly called Spare Time.
We were inside and one night of bowling, and out of nowhere he just came in and there was a loud pop.
2 active shooter locations, all available units.
Yeah, the active shooter. We have multiple injuries.
There was a youth program underway, so there were kids bowling with their parents, many of them, when the first shots were fired.
Megan Hutchinson and her 10-year-old daughter Zoe were there.
Between the lanes, there's some swinging doors, like where they keep all the mechanical stuff out back. We barricaded in there, and another parent was in the room with me. She had a phone. She called 911.
Zoe's leg grazed by a bullet.
I never thought I'd grow up and get a bullet in my leg, and it's just like, why? Like, why do people do this? I was more worried about, like, am I going to live? Am I going to make it out of here? Like, what's going to happen? Are the cops going to come?
Tammy Asselin and her 10-year-old daughter Tony were also at the bowling alley last night when the shooting started.
I started to walk towards that sound when I heard a second one and started seeing people running, and some people running down the bowling alley, the slippery bowling alley. Unfortunately, some of them didn't make it.
To me, it was traumatizing because I just saw this dude sitting at the bar, and all of a sudden I see blood fly everywhere, and he fell to the ground, and he wasn't moving.
It didn't feel real. It didn't feel real at all.
Trapped, seconds turned to minutes. Minutes turned into what felt like hours.
We were stuck in the corner, basically sitting ducks.
They narrowly escaped, but lost their cousin.
Her name was Trisha, And she was a fun-loving, she was bubbly, she was always ready for some fun. She actually works at the bowling alley too, so we would see her when we would go.
The second shooting scene, a pool hall and bar, Shemengi's, is about 4 miles from the bowling alley. People reportedly enjoying a night of cornhole. From her hospital bed, Jennifer Zanka telling us she was having dinner with friends when the shooting began.
When I turned around, we all turned around and realized what was happening. We dropped to the ground. And that's when I think I was shot in the arm.
She had been shot, and this retired nurse
I would
still
love to see
escaped through the back
Philomon
door.
and his minion
I cut my
crew
hand on my-
double down, triple
my
down
arm.
stupidness and say,
Like
this
a
is
tourniquet,
fake or
and it was
stage or
bleeding pretty heavily.
just bring it
And
around and people say the survivor.
I went
Wrong.
to hide behind the
He's a
dumpster.
real
There was another
survivor.
gentleman there. But I knew I needed
Just
to
like
get
Uvalde, Sandy Hook,
Rushed to the
Columbine,
hospital, a doctor she used to
Aurora,
work with, now
Parkland.
operating on
They
her.
were
I was
all
one of the lucky
real
ones.
mass shootings.
If the bullet
Like the
had
mass
been
shooting in
in either
Buffalo
direction,
at a
I
grocery
definitely would
store.
not have survived.
All real.
Robin Payne lives down the street from the bar and grill. Her camera capturing the
No wonder
chaos
why
unfolding at the
government's
crime
operating
scene in real time.
gun buyback program.
Payne sheltered in place.
These
So
mass
when I found out
destruction
this was an
weapons out the
active shooter
streets.
event,
Philemon doesn't
I
understand
was very
that shit. He
worried. I'm
doesn't.
a single parent,
He's
and
he's got his head far up his
our
ass,
house is so close
where
where
his brain
I could
cells
see
are
everything happening.
getting smoked out.
Lewiston residents shocked a mass shooting hitting so close to home, a state where mass shootings are almost unheard of. Just last year, the state reporting 29 homicides, 15 of them connected to domestic violence.
Lewiston, Maine is a hardworking, blue-collar kind of town. People have a lot of grit and strength and
Like it was half about,
determination,
the Vegas
but they're
harvest
also very close-knit, and they come together in
John
times
Goodman,
of
Jason
tragedy.
Aldean.
Last night,
Before
authorities
Finnegan.
found a white Subaru belonging to the suspect in Lisbon, Maine, miles from the Lewiston crime scene at a boat launch. Inside, a firearm recovered. Card owns a boat.
And
Authorities
Tacos was
not
talking
ruling
about
out that he
conspiracy.
could
She's
have
talking
used a
about
boat to
conspiracy
escape.
like we're
The
Pete
Coast Guard is
Santelli.
searching the Kennebec River. Investigators also
Tacos
finding
one
a
of fucking
suicide
nut
note today
jobs,
at
too.
Card's home
She's one
written
of those
to his
left-wingers.
son.
Law enforcement
Extremist
won't
thinking,
share
yeah,
the rest of it, but
goes
they
on and says,
basically
"I'm the daughter
stated
of
that there are
American Revolution."
ramblings,
What, in the 60s?
which would
Yeah,
totally
you
fit
and
based
what-
on what we know
and
about the
a
suspect.
million other
Probably
daughters.
rantings
Tacos.
and ravings about what he doesn't like or who he perceives would be his enemies.
The Army confirming to ABC News, Card has been a reservist since December 2002. Card, a sergeant first class who never deployed for combat. This summer, Card was deployed to Camp Smith Training Center in upstate New York to help support summer training for West Point cadets.
Some of his fellow soldiers reported him to be behaving erratically. It appears he may have been
he had
making
mental
threats, we're
issues
told,
as well,
against
too.
some of his fellow soldiers.
And he was
That
posting
got him an intervention
conspiracy,
with
trying to hook
military
up with
authorities.
conspiracy
He
groups
was
on
also
Facebook
in
before
treatment
this all went
for at
down.
least 2 weeks this past summer based on hearing voices in his head and threatening to kill a National Guard base in Saco, Maine, where he may have also had military ties.
See,
Back in
Philemon's
Maine, a
one of those
community in
one of those
Mourning,
dudes that drive
at
his
least
dirty little
8 of
Nissan
the
pickup truck
18
with the
victims have
window
been
down Silicon
identified.
Valley. Saying,
They include a
"White
youth bowling coach, a
power!"
mother who rushed to call 911,
Like a
and the
extremist
manager of the
nut job.
bar and restaurant where so many lives were lost. Those who survived still reeling from the tragedy.
I'm just glad everybody here is okay. But now it's the process of dealing with what she and I saw. I'm just thankful that we made it out.
Hi, everyone. George.
All right, I'm out of here, my job. Peace out. We'll do some more on this story.